Hey everybody, Motorpoet 59 here. I want to talk a little bit about healthcare, healthcare insurance, and how it has affected me personally over the last few months, and how the Democrats have lied to you and are still lying to you about what they want to do with healthcare. The Democrats don't want to do anything with healthcare. They don't want to change anything. They don't want to change anything at all. They're too invested in the healthcare industry and the pharmaceutical industries and the manufacturing industries surrounding the healthcare industry. They're just way too invested in it. Too many lobbies that are dumping money into Democrat coffers. They're dumping it into Republicans too. Lobbyists aren't stupid and they're not picky. They are going to give money to whoever's in charge and whoever they think will be in charge so that they continue to have things go their way no matter who's running things. When Barack Obama was running for president, his 2008 campaign, 2007, whatever year it was, he promised to fix healthcare, or at least try to fix our broken healthcare system. And it was one of the things, one of the planks of the platform that he really hammered on. People, almost every debate that I was involved in for the last 6 months, 8 months, running up to the election in 2008 was about healthcare. It was about healthcare. And then during his presidency, as he was trying to push Obamacare, all the debates were about healthcare. And kept telling people, this isn't about healthcare. Obamacare has nothing to do with healthcare. All it has to do with is insurance. And most people already have insurance. Many people don't want insurance. They don't need it. Obamacare didn't really help very many people. It helped a very small group of people who may not have had access outside of their state-provided healthcare, like Medi-Cal or TNCal or those kind of things. But it hurt a lot more people. It made private insurance more expensive. Prior to Obamacare, my company supplied insurance before I retired was free. Well, that's not true. It was about $100. Once Obamacare passed, it went up to just under $250 a month. And hey, it's still pretty good. I ain't complaining about it. It's better than nothing, and better than a lot of other people had. But for people trying to just go out and buy healthcare, because not everybody qualified for one of these inexpensive programs in Obamacare. As a matter of fact, very few people qualified for the inexpensive ones, except people who already had free or inexpensive healthcare to start with because of their incomes. It didn't help. It didn't help people. What happened to the people who don't want to get healthcare insurance? Oh, they were fined by the IRS. I still think John Roberts wrote his opinion for Obamacare under duress. I think he was either threatened or somebody blackmailed him, because there's no way that a man on the Supreme Court, a Republican, or even he's kind of a rhino anyway, there's no way they would have ever thought that was constitutional. The government providing a program that the citizens have to use, and if they don't, they're fined by that very same government. Excuse me, but that sounds a little bit like the Soviet Union being punitively punished by the government for not following their rules. For me, when I retired, when I was working, I had a copay plan, a PPO, and my copays were $20 for most things, $35 for specialists, $75 for ER or hospital admissions. When I retired, I was given a PPO that didn't cost me anything from United Healthcare to carry me from the time I retired. I retired when I was 60, and carried me from the time I retired till I turned 65 when I could get Medicare. It was free. It was an 80-20 plan, and it capped at $100,000, something I didn't think about when I was hospitalized. But prior to being hospitalized, I had my shoulder reconstruction, and I used a pretty good chunk of that for that reconstruction. So I was going to buy another policy that was being offered during open enrollment, which ended in November. But, as you know, or some of you know, I came down with COVID and was very ill. I was in the hospital most of the month of November and was way too sick to be thinking about anything. I don't even remember most of my stay in the hospital. I was very, very ill. I spent 24 days in the hospital. And my insurance capped out while I was in there. And I wasn't able to get into the open enrollment in November because I was sick. They allowed me to buy that policy in January when I was able to start thinking again. And so I was able to buy a policy that I pay for now that caps at $500, still an 80-20, but it's a good insurance plan. This leads into healthcare itself. We've talked about insurance. Okay, Obamacare has been a dismal failure. Everyone knows that. I can't believe Trump tried to get rid of the mandate. But my idiot governor, Gavin Newsom, even once that mandate was taken away at the federal level, Newsom made it in California, you still had to have it, or you'd be fined by state California. Gavin Newsom's an idiot. If you voted for him, you're an idiot. If you still support him, a lot of people who voted for him are sorry they did. But if you still support him, you're an idiot. Healthcare. The healthcare in the United States is the best healthcare in the world. I am so sick of listening to people talk about how great healthcare is in other places. It's not. If it were so great in other places, why are so many people coming from other countries, many of which have free nationalized healthcare? Why are they coming here to get treatment for serious illnesses? Because we have the best healthcare in the world. We have the best doctors. We have the best facilities. We have the best system. It's just expensive. It's very, very, very expensive. And that's the part of the healthcare system that is broken, that needs to be fixed. We don't need to fix the insurance plans. We need to get costs down. People need to stop going to the doctors for every stupid little thing that happens to them. You need to understand when you're sick and when you just don't feel good. You need to understand when you're hurt and when you're just banged up. You need to stop being a hypochondriac. You need to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You need to stop attracting attention by pretending there's something wrong with you. You're ruining the healthcare system. But the fact is, even if you're one of those people, this healthcare system will take excellent care of you. My insurance ran out while I was in the hospital. My final hospital room bill, just for the room and some of the accoutrements that came with the room, for 24 days was $289,000 and change. My share of that cost, according to my insurance hospital explanation of benefits, I should say, was $75,000. My insurance company told me I'll never have to pay that much. The hospital will never ask me to pay that much money. And I don't know. They haven't sent me a bill yet. We'll find out. But while I was in there, I received excellent health care. They saved my life twice. Again, I have very little memory of the things that happened in the hospital. I went in with COVID, double viral pneumonia, got over the double viral pneumonia, still had COVID, contracted double bacterial pneumonia. They almost lost me a couple of times. I'll link the videos I did about my battle with COVID. I'll link the first one in the description below. You can go to the playlist and see all the videos I made, the two I made in the hospital and the ones I made after I got home, documenting my recovery. But I received excellent health care. They poked me, they prodded me. Mostly I've been in the hospital before from being injured and for long periods of time, one time for 6 weeks, and but being seriously injured, and they don't do the things they were doing with me. I was literally, they were taking blood every day, constant breathing therapies, everything. I can't even remember all the things they did, but they saved my life. So whatever they decide to charge me, I'll pay. But when you go to the hospital, if something happens to you, and you go to a hospital, if you're injured in an automobile accident or racing motocross, as I was, racing motorcycles, both times where I broke my femurs, was one when I was 15, one when I was 40, and a few other times I've had to have surgeries. I've had to have both my shoulders reconstructed. I've always received excellent health care. I've never had any complaints about that. And there are these people out here that complain about the United States healthcare system. That's because they've never gone anywhere else. They bitch about the prices of pharmaceuticals. There's nothing at all that we can do about that except stop taking pills for everything. Half the people out there that are pissed off about the cost of pharmaceuticals are the ones who are strung out on painkillers. I don't know the answers. I'm not a healthcare professional. But I do know that we need to fix the broken system where people can afford it and people may not have to. I don't even know what the wait times are. I've never had to wait. When I broke my femur, I was admitted to the hospital. I had surgery that night. The one in 2000 when I was 40. I did the other one when I was 15 back in 1975. I was admitted to the hospital that night. Was put in traction that night. It's been 6 weeks in the hospital in traction. 2 months in a body cast. Excellent health care. I never had to wait for anything. I have to wait for doctor's appointments. These specialists, sometimes you can't get an appointment for a couple of months out. But if you are sick and you have an issue, that's not what you do. You go to an urgent care. You go to an ER. Just make sure you're really sick. Don't go because you have a cold that's lasted more than 2 days or the regular flu. If you get the flu, the regular seasonal flu, and you haven't already had a flu shot, going to get a flu shot isn't going to help you. It's too late for that. Chances are you won't need to be hospitalized. If you're still running a high fever after 2 or 3 days, maybe you want to go get seen. But for me, I've only had the flu 3 times in my whole life, and my fevers lasted a couple of days. As far as the high fever, it broke, got down to 100 low-grade fevers. Those aren't dangerous. If you can't stop coughing, if you feel like you can't breathe, go get seen. But if you just don't feel good, you just feel like crap, stay home, stay in bed, get rest, drink plenty of liquids, not soda pops, not tea, not diuretics, water, Propel, things like that aren't filled with sugar, sodium, or caffeine. Take care of yourself. One of the problems with the healthcare system that we as citizens of the United States could certainly do to help the healthcare system be a better system and to stop overloading doctors is to take care of ourselves. Stop overeating. Obesity is one of the biggest problems in the United States right now. And that is not a health problem. That is an eating problem. That is a personal problem. Yes, I know there are certain diseases and afflictions that can cause people to gain weight, but those are very few. When you look around, go to a Walmart, go to a Target, go just about anywhere, and you're going to see that probably 75% of the people that you see are going to be obese. Maybe not morbidly obese, but way overweight. I weighed almost 250 pounds at one time. I'm 6'1", and it wasn't muscle. It was a big old fat belly. Uh, that's when I found out I was diabetic. I went to have surgery on my neck, have some discs fused, which cost me a small fortune. Well, it cost my insurance company a small fortune. Overnight stay in a surgery, almost $50,000. Yeah, and that was in 2006. When they did my blood work, they said, "Hey, you're diabetic." I said, "Oh, no, I'm not." They said, "Yeah, your blood sugar's 328. You're diabetic. You have type 2 diabetes." So what did I do? Did I keep eating? Did I do all that crazy stuff? Did I listen to the doctors? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I modified my diet. I never told myself I was never going to eat this or never going to eat that again. Cut out carbs. Probably 80% of the carbs, 80% of the sugar. A lot of fatty foods that I had been eating. Got rid of all that stuff. Went to the gym. Worked my butt off. And in about 9 months, I had lost. I've gone from 242 the day I went to the gym the first time. I weighed 242. And 9 months later, I weighed about 205. Stop eating so much. Stop smoking. Cigarettes. There is absolutely no doubt. There is no question that cigarettes are bad for you. They are bad for you. There's nothing good. All tobacco products, chew, vaping with nicotine, that stuff's all bad for you. Vaping without nicotine, just regular fruit, whatever. Your lungs are not designed for you to suck water vapor into in large quantities. Yeah, when it's foggy outside and the humidity's real high, you don't have a choice. But it's not like that all the time, and you're not sucking that stuff down way deep into your lungs like you are when you vape. Stop doing that stuff. It's bad for you. There are so many things we can do. Hey, if you ride motorcycles, even if you live in a no helmet state, wear a helmet. Even if you don't like wearing seatbelts in your cars, that's a law everywhere. Wear seatbelts anyway. They will save your life. So think about your lifestyle. Think about the things you do. Do you smoke? Do you overeat? Do you just eat poorly? There are lots of things we can do to help the healthcare system along. We just don't want to do it as a public. We just don't want to do it because we're spoiled, lazy, entitled Americans. I'm not. My generation isn't. At least most of them. But everybody behind me, you're spoiled. You are so spoiled. And to an extent, in some ways, as an American, I am spoiled. But when it comes to the healthcare system, I'm not. I understand its importance. So anyway, I know that was a little longer than I wanted it to be, but there are so many things that can be done to help healthcare. It starts with us. It doesn't start with the doctors. It doesn't start with the hospitals. It doesn't start with rich white people. It starts with us. It starts with us and it works its way up. Think about that next time you want to cry about the healthcare system in the United States. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. If you have comment, leave it in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. And see you all later. Hopefully not at a doctor's office, not at a hospital, not at an ER, not at an urgent care. You get the message. See ya.